Hi guys, this is Ria from Let's OTT. You know me, and you probably know our guest today as well. We have with us the privilege of talking to Mahesh Thakur. Everybody knows who he is because, guys, if you grew up in the 90s, in the 2000s, he's been in almost every major TV show, ZTV, Star Plus, you name it, he's been there. You've seen him in Hum Saath Saath Hai, you've seen him in Shararat, you've seen him in Selab, you've seen him in really important shows that kind of changed the way we watch Indian television. So it's such a privilege to have somebody like a veteran actor like him with me today. So how are you today?
Thank you so much for such a fantastic intro. When you were mentioning all those shows and names, it was like completely coming back that, okay, my God, my journey has been so long. Somewhere you tend to forget your journey, because you're
Right.
constantly walking the path. So you don't really, remember when you mentioned Sela, oh my God, that was like years ago. Tu
Okay.
Tu Main, Hum Saath Saath Hai, woof, you're
Yeah.
talking years ago. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm happy to have been a part of all those shows. And yeah, I'm doing great. Doing great.
That's great. Because my next question is going to be, you've been around for so long, and I'm sure you've had the world of experiences. Is it
Mhm.
strange to give interviews on Zoom?
No, I think you gotta move with the time and just embrace technology because I think technology only makes life easier. I mean, if
Right.
not, you would have had to come to a meeting place. I would have had to come to a meeting place. We had to set up the lights, we had to set up everything, call a couple of people for the audio video interview.
Yeah.
So I think this is great. I mean, thanks Zoom, thanks technology.
Thanks, technology. We are, of course, here to chat about your new show. It's not new,
Yes,
it's in its second season, but we see more of
yes,
you, a prominent you, in the second
yes.
season of the show. This is Modi from CM to PM, and it's season two, which starts on November 12th on Eros Now. Guys, Eros Now, November 12th. I'd love to know from you. It's such an important role, not just for an actor, but even for people like us who are finally getting to see. I mean, of course, we've seen a couple of films made on the life of Prime Minister Modi, but it's important to see our leaders, in a show like this. The West has it all the time. People make shows on prominent figures in politics and business all the time, without any worry about what they say. How important is it for you as an actor and even as a person who's like a citizen of India to be part of a show like this?
Okay, your question is actually has to be answered with a couple of things kept in mind. Okay, first of all, when we make a show, we actors, we are not promoting, supporting, going against any political parties. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
let's keep politics out of that. This is completely a creative take on a book, all right, which was written, and Modi, A Journey of a Common Man, is being made on a book, okay, which has been in the market for a long time. So let's have one thing clear that our data is coming from a book. Now, the reason why it is interesting is because nobody had a problem for us to depict his journey on film and camera. All right.
Right.
Number one. Number two, his story is interesting,
Yeah.
which is the reason it was written and which is the reason why we are depicting it.
Yeah.
Okay. Reason number three, making something like that is something new in terms of content, right?
Hmm.
It's a new content. It's not like a love story or not like an action thriller, or it's a new content. So
Yeah.
you have to have a view of viewing it not as as what they say, you're trying to promote a political alliance, or you're trying to promote this or trying to promote that, because you have all sorts of people. I just
Hmm.
this answer is for, don't view it with that in mind.
Right.
We are not here to promote or you know disregard this or regard this. We are just depicting what was written in the book,
Hmm.
which has been released. All
Hmm.
right, Journey of a Common Man. It's out there in all the libraries. You can download it on your. It's all there.
Yeah.
We've just depicted that.
Yeah.
Secondly, it is a very challenging role and challenging work for the entire unit to get involved in. So there's a
Hmm.
lot of creativity which was required from every department.
Hmm.
So when you see the content, you will realize that, oh yes, they've done a good job. That's the way I look at it, because I know for a fact that I'm just a part of the show.
Hmm.
The show it required a terrific makeup team,
Yeah.
terrific writing team,
Yeah.
terrific location hunting team, terrific second unit, terrific. I mean, everything had to be par excellence. you know. So when you work in such a product, you realize that no, we as creative people have all the requirements to stretch our limits and
Hmm.
become unlimitless, right? So that is one. Secondly, this is not something which you look at, is it a hit or is it a flop?
Hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't fall in that genre.
Yeah.
It doesn't fall in the genre of a hit or a flop. This is something which is there, which is kept on the OTT for people to have an audiovisual to see what happened.
Hmm.
You know, it could also go as a study material for anybody. You know, if somebody's doing a little research or a research paper rather than reading a book, you know, it's there for you to view. Like I have the Merchant of Venice when my son was studying. You know, I
Yeah.
said, you know, why do you want to study Merchant of Venice? Just go see the video, go see the movie.
Right.
You know, so I'm giving you a parallel. You know,
Hmm.
that's how it can be looked at.
Yeah.
Okay,
As an
so
adaptation of one of the
yes,
perspectives on one story. I get it.
yes, that's what it is. For us to say ye sahi hai, aisa nahi hua tha, waisa nahi hua tha, it's not our job to define that, because we have adapted it from a book,
Right.
right?
Right.
And all the data and everything is there. So if
Hmm.
anybody has a problem, you should approach the publishing house on those areas. So let's keep that track clear.
Right.
It is an honor to be able to depict our honorable prime minister. It is a great honor,
Hmm.
because I have seen a lot of leaders of the country, of the world, not the country, a lot of leaders of the world, and our prime minister 101% stands out amongst all of them put together.
That's true. For sure.
He stands out. I mean, all the leaders, we have respect for all the leaders of the world, but our prime minister, you know, we say in the classroom, the top students. So he
Yeah.
comes up with the top leaders, you
Yeah.
know, among the top leaders. So
Yeah.
it's an honor to just play his role and then live his journey through all the changes. And as I was, you know, trying to put it across to people, I said the greatest battle which he fought, you know, our prime minister, was not with the people outside. It
Hmm.
was with himself.
Hmm.
The conviction which he had to, कहते हैं कि सबसे बड़ी जंग जो होती है इंसान अपने आप से लड़ता है.
Hmm.
And when you are convinced about certain things, you move in that direction.
Hmm.
You know, so that's what I took away from this project, that his conviction about getting things done.
Hmm.
You know, that there's that conviction.
Right.
So yeah, you know, that's what I would say.
Great. As you very rightfully pointed out, Prime Minister Modi has such a distinctive personality. He literally he stands out amongst a crowd, amongst the greatest political leaders in the world. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying that you are such a veteran actor. It's not difficult to imbibe those mannerisms because you know that's your job. That's what you'll do on set. But
Correct.
is there any kind of pressure that I have to sound like him? I have to speak like him. You know how articulate and verbose he is, especially when it comes to speaking Hindi. आधा time तो हमें समझ नहीं आता कि वो बोल क्या रहे हैं. कभी-कभी लगता है subtitles की जरूरत.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
is that something that you were thought of like, okay, this is going to, I have to depict him in the most accurate way possible, but it also has to be accessible to the regular human.
This is just hit the hammer right on the nail. This is exactly my problem which I was facing, because no matter how much I was seeing his books, his mannerisms, and everything, when I used to go on the shoot, I had to give a lot of retakes. Because besides me being convinced of how I would deliver this line or stand or do,
Hmm.
I had to also have a take on what the director's mindset, assistant directors, and also the writers who were on the set constantly.
Right.
So, and there was this constant thing that every time a scene came along, we had to find a balance by making it genuine and not caricature.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll tell you what I mean by that. Okay, going a little bit into the depths of understanding how what where I'm coming from.
Hmm.
Okay, if I had to look and sound like Modi ji, then it would be a caricature,
Hmm.
because then I would pick up everything. That means, so if I have to look and sound like Modi ji in the best possible way, which doesn't look like a caricature, is
Hmm.
great, because there are emotions also in the. If you when you see the web series, you'll realize a lot of areas where there are emotions,
Hmm.
and these emotions have to be captured.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, when you capture emotions, you're actually getting away from the leader who y'all have been witnessing on screen,
Hmm.
because the weak moments are never shown to the
Hmm.
public's eye.
Yeah.
The public never gets to see the weak moments. You'll always get to see his speeches. You'll
Yeah.
always get to see his
Yeah.
things.
His public
Maybe
persona.
somewhere you will get his public, but we've also depicted the story behind.
Yeah.
The story behind his emotions.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, if I have not seen that, you have not seen that, but our main character, who the web series being based on, has gone through it.
Hmm.
Now, maintaining those emotions, okay,
Hmm.
if I have a graph, now, so we look at this graph, so the graph is maintained that there's going to be emotions which is away from the camera. Then there are those public speeches which he comes into.
Hmm.
Now, to find the balance between that emotion and public speech, so
Hmm.
there is this link.
Yeah.
So that's what I had to bridge the gap. So
Right.
I couldn't make the emotions too high because then this doesn't work. I couldn't make this too high, otherwise this won't work.
Hmm.
So I had to get the perfect gap.
Hmm.
So as an actor, I feel that the effort which is gone in depicting, people are seeing, okay, the speeches and everything which is there, and I'm looking at those things which people haven't seen,
Hmm.
depicting that
Yeah.
in the most genuine
Like that.
fashion. And then after that, joining the two and making it seem believable. So therefore, you eliminate caricatures.
Hmm.
If I had to go 100% of how Modi ji would be in his speeches,
Hmm.
then that area of the emotions I have not seen. Then how do I push that? Because
Right.
that's my school. I've worked as an actor in these 25 years. I've worked with emotions,
Yeah.
right? And as an actor, what I do, I try and to be able to cry in front of the camera, or to be able to do a love scene or drama, the more natural you are, the better it works.
Hmm.
Okay,
Right.
so I'm not a method actor. I am a very instinctive actor.
Hmm.
I When you say instinctive, I depend a lot on my co-actors to give me the feedback so the scene works. So
Hmm.
when I'm performing, when I get a good co-actor, we find a meter, and that meter balances and the scene works. It's
Yeah.
never an actor which works, it's a scene which works.
Hmm.
So that's my school of thought. So I'm an instinctive actor, right? So this is, I'm going a little off track over here, but it's very important for people to know
Hmm.
that this job of playing our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Honorable Prime Minister, has not been easy for
Yeah.
me. It's been very challenging
Yeah.
for these reasons,
Just to
definitely.
take that conversation slightly forward, if I have to make a parable to an international show which is on similar lines, I'm not saying that it's structurally similar or it copies anything in any way, but The Crown, which is based on Queen Elizabeth II, is quite similar in the way that they've divided seasons, of course, according to like her most
Correct.
significant decades in her life. But what
Correct.
happens is that different actors play her in at different points in her life,
Correct.
and those specific performances resonate with different generations of people because they've,
Correct.
my grandmother has seen her in her, in her younger
True.
days, and then now I've seen her as a slightly older monarch.
Right.
Similarly, but the character you're playing, as in the version of Prime Minister Modi that you are playing, is probably the most resonant for all generations, because that is the way we
Correct.
remember him from the, let's say, the early 2000s. The last 2 decades would, where he rose to prominence as a political leader.
Correct.
Do you feel
Correct.
that you have a slight advantage due to that, because people will be like, oh, this is what I recognize, so I know what's going on here? Or do you feel you have a slight disadvantage because people will be like, पहले दो actors ने जो दिखाया उनके younger days, उनका childhood, वो तो हमें पता नहीं था, ये कुछ नया था देखने को, but ये तो हमने सब, like, we've read about it, we've read newspapers or books or seen other films and things like that. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think the audience is going to say that I'm going to be put more under the spotlight in comparison, because people have known the Modi,
Yeah.
from the Chief Minister to the Prime Minister, vis-a-vis compared to the other two actors who've done a brilliant job. I would
Yeah.
say both of them have been fantastic in their role. If you've seen it, the authenticity, the way they've come across, it's really commendable. How they work, man, and
Hmm.
I love them. They're sweethearts.
Hmm.
So I would say that there is no comparison, because people haven't seen that side of our Prime Minister,
Yeah.
whereas they have seen the one which I'm depicting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna get more. I hope the audience is kind on me and they don't take away my effort. I put a genuine effort, guys. I mean, I don't want to say anything. I just hope you all accept the web series as a web series, and
Yeah. Yeah.
ये actor ऐसा काम करता है, वो actor ऐसा है. See the series, enjoy it. A lot of people have put the hard work together. Everybody is equally, to take the credit for it. It's not going to be a single man show. Never. Not for this project.
जब फोन आया या कॉल आया या ईमेल आया या जो भी आया, when you were called for the meeting for the first time that you have been cast on this show, I just want to know your reaction when you were told that you were playing Prime Minister Modi, because that must have been a little strange. I'm just thinking.
That when the call came that they are considering me. See, always how the industry works is that they don't confirm you,
Yeah,
right? They consider you.
yeah,
Right. So the first meeting is always we consider you, because also you as an actor have to consider the role. So it's called a consideration meeting.
yeah.
Okay. Finalized meeting is the second and third,
Ah,
So the consideration meeting, which happened first, is like,
right.
is it, am I being considered that if nothing works out, they'll come for me?
Yeah.
So no, apparently, no, it was not like that. That was my foolishness to believe in that.
Hmm.
But when my director, he said he's completely convinced in me to do the role.
Hmm.
Are you convinced? Is when I took a pause and I said, I can do the job. I didn't say I'll do the role.
Yeah.
I said, I'll do the job
Yeah.
because it's a job.
Hmm.
It was something to be done.
Yeah.
It's not something which will come easy. It's a lot of hard work in front of you. It's a challenge. It's climbing an uphill task.
Hmm.
I said, I will do it.
Hmm.
So when they told me, I was first taken aback, but then I was like, oh, wow, this is it. Let's get cracking on it.
Right. That just shows your conviction and experience as an actor, that you are ready to take on the greatest of challenges, even after so
Yes.
many years. If you have to consider it as a job, acting is a job like any other
Correct.
job,
It
like the
is.
job I do,
It
like
is.
the job anybody does.
Yeah.
You have a tendency, you might get bored after a couple of years. You might, after
Yeah.
25 years, you might decide to retire. People retire after 25 years of working.
Yeah.
But do you, and going back to how I started with my introduction, like, your filmography is exhausting. I mean, I'm not even going to try and get into that.
Okay.
Where does this passion, how does it sustain after so many?
Okay, so now talking purely out of being Mahesh Thakur, the actor,
Hmm.
uh, you know, when we enter the industry, when we become actors, most of us become actors to become celebrities and stars and make lots of money.
Yeah.
I didn't come from that mindset.
Hmm.
No, I came from the mindset that I would like to live different lives in one life. So every time a role is offered to you, it is not Mahesh Thakur doing that role. Mahesh Thakur is wearing the shoes of the character who's been scripted on paper.
Right.
That was the actual difference, and that's my motivation to move ahead. Every time I get a role to do, I don't see myself as Mahesh Thakur doing it. I see as the character which is scripted
Hmm.
and me living those things. That is why I enjoyed playing the negative shades, because me as a person, I'm never going to be negative in my life.
Yeah.
I don't look at life that way.
Yeah.
I love people, and people love me the same way. I mean, I've got no issues with people. I'm very chilled out.
Right.
So when you get to play a negative guy, a little crazy guy, it's like, oh my God, how would it be if somebody was that way? So I did that for Ishq Baz,
Hmm.
where I played this really menacing
Yeah.
Tej Singh Oberoi.
Yeah.
You must have
Hmm.
seen some shots.
Yeah.
And they had scripted it really well with all those entries and, the way he is and the way he talks. And, it was great fun. It was just great
Yeah.
fun. People were
Right.
nice to you. And at the end of it, when you call for a pack up, everybody's back to being themselves. So I'm
Hmm.
not Tej Singh Oberoi. Same
Yeah.
thing when I did for Satya too, when I worked with Ram Gopal Verma, when he told me, I want this crazy eccentric builder.
Hmm.
So I said, okay, can I design the character? He said, yeah, go right ahead. So
Hmm.
I designed the character. I said, what goes against me is my eyes. I've got two kind eyes. I mean, if people look at my eyes, they say he will not hurt
Evil नहीं
anybody.
लग
It's just
सकते,
dog eyes.
हाँ.
हाँ वो नहीं होता है तो मैं सबसे पहले I need to do is cover my eyes, so I actually told him that, and he considered it, and I bought myself those glasses which are transparent little reddish glasses.
Right.
I wore I had a little choti. Just check out the look in Satya too.
I will.
Yeah.
Now I will, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
TV, of course, television, especially ever since it kind of rose to prominence in the late 80s, with major shows that kind of took over our lives, at least my parents' generation. And then I've kind of grown up with watching 90s shows, 2000. Television can't really ever go away. It kind of binds us all together. Like the Indian families come together to watch television, raat ko, have their dinner and
Mhm.
watch TV and do that thing together. But OTT is the new kind of new player, and it's slowly kind of making a niche in the ecosystem for itself. As somebody who has worked across mediums. You worked in film, you worked in TV. Now you're doing a web series for an OTT platform. How do you view that progress? Are you happy with the way things have changed? Are you confident about what OTT has to do?
The way forward will always be OTT, because programs will have to make time for us. So we will not make time for programs. So I think the structure of OTT is a better structure overall. You've got classes, you're doing work, you're free in the afternoon for like 4 hours. Either you pick up a book and read, or you switch on your OTT and watch your show.
Right.
So that's basically where it fits in. Otherwise, we used to have satellite TV, which used to say at 9 o'clock, finish your dinner and come and sit on the TV. So we were slaves to entertainment. Here we are not slaves to entertainment. So it's actually a one step forward. Cinema is here to stay, and OTT is here to stay for sure. Both are here to stay. Yes.
This is just a personal observation from what I hear from my friends and acquaintances. People have a little bit of a strife with television now because they feel that content has been kind of taken over by reality programming and very soap opera-ish kind of style of TV, of television making. You, of course, you started your career with some of the best television directors of the time, who kind of who really brought the most modern stories, the most progressive stories for that time to TV. And you also worked with some great ad filmmakers. Do you miss working with those people, because most of them are not on the radar anymore?
Yes, I do. Of course, I do. My journey has been incredible with each one of them, and I love them and I bless them for a fantastic future ahead of them. They are busy. They are doing other things, but these are people who are convinced about what they want to do.
Yeah.
They're very passionate about their work, so they will not bow down to what people ask them to make. They will make what they want to make, and I think till that turnaround happens, you will not see them back for a while, till they're not convinced about what they want to make. So they're very different type of individuals, all of them. So yes, the content, but we as actors, we have to survive. So I've been lucky enough to get good shows, and every show has been a milestone in my life. Touch wood, seriously. And every show which I've touched has always worked in some way or the other, and I've enjoyed my part with them. Yeah. And I'm doing something new just to share with you. I've got a book which is releasing on December 18th.
Oh,
Yes.
lovely. Great.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah. So
can we get some more details on the book, or is it too soon?
Yes. No. I can share the details. It's a coffee table book. Okay. So me being the person I am, I've written a lot of quotes. Okay. There's about 200 quotes. It's a self-help, motivational, spiritual. You can put all that together. A light read. You could just flip a couple of pages and pick up from anywhere, and
Great.
So these are these quotes which I've written over a period of time, and I have the publishing house, Popular Prakashan, who's backing me on this.
Lovely.
So by 18th December, I'll have the book I Quotes out.
Lovely.
So do look out.
Many congratulations to you. Such a landmark. You've had many landmarks in your life, and this is just another one of them. And so that's all the best from me and from the team of Let's OTT. And thank you so much for chatting with us today, for sharing your experiences, for talking about Modi.
Thank you.
Guys, Modi from CM to PM season 2 will be out on Eros now on November 12th. So please stream it. It has Mahesh Thakur in it. He's such a great actor, and we hopefully get to see a different facet to our honorable Prime Minister's life. And in the meantime, you can also like, share, and subscribe to the content of Let's OTT. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, and we are on Instagram. So thank you. This is me, Ria, signing off. Bye bye.